All right, what's up, everybody? This is just Big Mike over here at Therapist Talks, man. And today, this video is about a day in the life of a therapist. Well, I just got in the office today, and kind of the first things I do is speak to the front desk, find out if there's any messages that's been left over at the front desk. I work as a clinical therapist in a private practice agency. The agency focuses on individual mental health, which is what I deal with, serious mental illness, co-occurring disorders, that type of thing, substance use disorders. But the agency basically is a marriage and family therapy and individual mental health therapy private practice. I wrote down some questions that I get asked a lot of times when I introduce myself to people, and they ask me, well, what do you do for a living? And, once I say I'm a therapist, then the next thing you know, I'm solving all their life problems and everything else. But some people say, well, what do you do? What does it look like when you go to work? Like, you just talk to people. It's a lot of background clinical work that gets done. So I just wrote down some points here and some questions that I get asked. So what I want to start off with is that, true therapy is research, evidence-based, and supervision support, right? We work from a science-based and behavioral-based, backed by science, mentality or lens, I would say. What are the aspects of the job do I not enjoy so much? I guess I would have to say working for somebody else, right? My goal is to open my own private practice. I've developed quite a few outpatient clinics. I have a background in organizational development. One of my degrees, my bachelor's degree actually from Central Washington University, is interdisciplinary studies, which is social sciences, psychology, sociology, that type of thing. But I also minored in business administrative management, organizational development. So I kind of jumped in the field as a case manager and kind of just started, helping assist in developing programs. The next thing you know, I was developing whole departments. And then the next thing you know, they were giving me buildings, and I'm developing the whole building, the team, the curriculum, the policies, the procedures, the flow, keeping up with the laws, that type of thing. Worked myself all the way to a clinical supervisor and just kind of putting things together. So now my mission, currently working on my doctorate degree, doing my practicum, and my mission is to open my own private practice. That's what my mission is. So that's what I don't enjoy about the job so much. What I do enjoy about the job so much is the ability to work, 2 or 3 days a week, 3 or 4 days a week, right? Whatever works for your financial situation. So let me see. So one of the first things I do is make sure on my calendar and telehealth links are valid or sent out. So I look at the day and I got a list of people that I need to see on my calendar. And so I'll make sure that they all have links. Anybody that's doing telehealth, I'll make sure that their links are valid and scheduled for the correct time. I check my emails and voicemails for any cancellations, so that way I can block it out on my calendar, so the front desk we can coordinate to kind of know what's going on. If somebody calls in, needs an assessment or intake, a diagnosis, adjustment, anything like that, she can throw it on my calendar. I can go ahead and knock that out, so that way I don't miss no money. The community don't miss no healing, right? Because without the two, we can't do the work. So then I look to see what treatment plans. We work with Simple Practice. Simple Practice kind of sends you reminders of software, EHR. Some people say EMR, electronic medical record, or electronic health records, right? So it's the software that therapists work on. They put their notes in. It kind of keeps up with the calendar, kind of does everything. That's your platform, right? So Simple Practice is the platform. And so it sends notes and reminders for any treatment plans they may need to be updated. So I look to see for the week, what treatment plans need to be updated, make a note, check them off as I go through them, as I work with the clients as they come in for the week, just in case we get an audit, right? If an audit comes in and your treatment plans aren't up to date, well, there's a ding. There's you got to do a corrective action plan. You got to do some caps, right? And then the next thing I do is I look at the list of clients for the day, look at the notes from the last sessions in order to get a kind of bead on what we last talked about. So when they come in today for the session, I kind of have a mental note, maybe jot down some notes or kind of look at it while I'm working with them so I can see what we're actively working on. Well, how long is each session? In Washington State, a 1 hour session is 53 minutes. And so 53 minutes, I kind of do my notes while I'm talking to them, typing, talking. They sit over there on the couch. I got stuff for kids, but they sit over there on the couch, and I'll work on the board, or either I'll sit in that brown chair across from them and kind of work with them a little bit. And then what we do, I text. I'm getting messages, Slacks letting me know that one of my clients are here. They 15 minutes early, so. So what I do is I'll comprehensive note take while I'm seeing the client, periodically, or I'll take like some little brief notes and kind of type them up. But that 7 minutes, I do have enough time to the next hour, top of the hour, from the 53 minutes to the top of the hour, to get my note done, finish it, complete it, run to the bathroom, do whatever I need to do. It don't take that long. Bathroom's right across the hall. So what do my notes look like? I type how they presented. Were they disheveled? Were they clean, adequately dressed for the weather? How was their mood? Elevated? Was there pressured speech? I do scaling questions like so from 0 to 10, with 0 being the worst, 10 being the greatest. How would you rate sometimes some of my clients got audio or visual hallucinations. How would you rate your depression, anxiety, their affect? I note their affect. Were they angry, sad, flat, affect, happy? What goals are they working on, or what do they want to work on and for homework, right? So something new to look up, such as a diagnosis or theory techniques. I kind of do that throughout the day. That's some parts of my day there. I prepare material for some sessions. Some people are talkers, so they don't really have time to kind of work on stuff like that. I'll give them homework, but then a lot of times I have curriculum or different things that we're working on. Like this is stop overthinking. I work with this with a lot of my clients with anxiety and depression and that type of thing. A really good book by Nick Trenton. So I prepare material for each session. I think about self of the therapist. Self of the therapist is when you regulate your own biases or your cultural considerations, right? If I was a white therapist, self-therapist is if I was a white therapist, I wouldn't want to say hunky-dory all the time to a black client, right? I mean, that's wrong. So any gender biases that I may have personally, I need to make sure that I'm aware of that per client as they come in, right? If a client's coming in and they're trans, I want to be aware to check any biases that I may have. What are my favorite therapeutic interventions? I get asked a lot. Like, what do you like to use? I like to use NFT, which is narrative family therapy, CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, and schema therapy, which includes anxiety disorders, panic. We used to call them Access 1 disorders, anxiety disorders, panic disorders, social anxiety disorder, which is now social phobia, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, dissociative disorders, eating disorders, that type of thing. Any mood disorders like major depression, bipolar, psychotic disorders, substance use disorders. I get asked a lot of career questions. I think I just kind of covered that. Do I charge for missed or canceled visits? Yeah, if you're private practice, we charge $50 for your first missed appointment, and then after that we bill the insurance for the full session. That's the agency policy. Folks should be mindful of their time. The therapist, if we don't work, we don't eat. If I don't have somebody on my schedule, I don't get paid, right? This is not where I just get paid an hourly rate. I get paid per client that I see, right? So we do charge for cancellations. You got to respect the person's time here. A person went to school for 15 years to be a doctor or a master's degree, a master's level clinician or therapist. Their time is valuable. Just because we're helping somebody doesn't mean we have to get paid like we, live on the street corner. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Books to recommend. I recommend The Essential Family Therapy Essential Guide by William A. Griffin and Shannon Green. This is good. This tells kind of all the classic models: Bowen Systems Therapy, Strategic, Narrative. Stop Overthinking by Nick Trenton. Good book. Maps of Narrative Practice by Michael White. I took the cover off and just wrote it here, but Maps of, there you go. That's a really good book. And of course, you couldn't be a therapist without the handy dandy DSM-5, right? Diagnostic Statistical Manual with diagnoses in it. I'm waiting on the DSM-5 TR, which is a text review. So shout out to any therapists out there doing the work. This is a day in the life of a therapist. I come on at 11, I leave at about 8. I work 3 to 4 days a week. Sometimes I work 5 and work from home. If there's a bunch of assessments or intakes that need to be done to get people into the agency, they need to be assessed first, which is considered an intake. Diagnosis kind of given to them. But with that, man, day in the life of the therapist, man. Shout out to anybody doing the work, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's keep that healing going, man. Blessings.